Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on the Constructive Criticism YouTube channel. I'm Spencer, host of Constructive Criticism and Limited Time Only, two podcasts about getting better at Magic the Gathering. It's Wednesday Night Warrior, a weekly video series about doing whatever I want to talk about. This is on puremtg.com and mtgotraders.com, so don't forget to check those people out. Let's this week talk about something that I think a lot of people probably are going to disagree with, but I want to talk about Marvel in Standard. And specifically why Marvel is actually good for Standard. So a lot of people don't like the card Aetherworks Marvel. And I'm here to tell you, not only should you like it, it's actually a good thing that it exists. So, let's talk really quick about midrange. So, in a lot of the worlds that we live in for Magic the Gathering, people don't like playing against decks like Jund and Control. Jund being this green, black, red creature control deck, so it's a deck that plays lots of removal and lots of mid-range creatures to try and control the board. And, oh, hi, there's a fly in my room. That's a fly. People don't like playing against that deck, and they really don't like playing against counterspells and control. So you might ask yourself, why does this matter for Aetherworks Marvel? So, decks like Jund would really take over a format if decks like Marvel didn't exist. So here's how Wizards of the Coast presents things. They have some specific pillars they want to be good, quote unquote, in Standard. They want an aggro deck, a mid-range deck, a control deck, and a combo/ramp deck. So the deck doesn't actually have to be a combo deck and it doesn't actually have to be a ramp deck, but they want some semblance of that. So, they've printed Emerge cards, they've printed Nissa's Pilgrimage for ramp cards and Explosive Vegetation, and then they've printed Aetherworks Marvel. And it's very clear that the deck that they want to be good in this format is Aetherworks Marvel. Why do they want that? So, while Wizards is probably not good at making aggro and control decks good, they're very good at making mid-range decks good. They're very good at printing mid-range cards because they're the easiest cards to print. They're the easiest cards to make powerful. And because of that, you really need decks like Aetherworks Marvel to keep those decks in check. If we didn't have cards like Aetherworks Marvel in Standard, then you would see a lot of Jund, Mardu, just lots of different green and red based mid-range decks with black, or even white with Gideon, that really make it hard for other decks to compete, whether it's control decks or aggro decks. Because midrange sits in this little middle part that really likes to take advantage of these decks and try and beat them. So why is Marvel the better solution? So you might ask yourselves, well, I'd rather play against a control deck because Marvel's stupid. I don't think you would. So here's the reason why. Marvel has natural inconsistencies. Because of the way the deck works, you always have a chance to beat it. You always have a chance that Marvel players miss. You always have a chance that Marvel players don't get enough energy. And that is something that you don't get with decks like Saheeli Combo or Splinter Twin or Storm. Those things don't exist with those decks. So because it's Marvel rather than those decks, you get the chance to just beat those decks by the fact that they're a little bit inconsistent. You also want a little bit of levels. So, for example, for Pro Tour Kaladesh, our testing team for the Pro Tour was all about Aetherworks Marvel. But not in the way that the deck ended up in the long term. We were about Teamer Aetherworks Marvel. This all-in combo deck with Glassblower's Puzzle Knot, trying to activate its marvels, dig to its marvels, and really get there. We did in fact have a green-red version that played Vessel of Decency and Ishkana. But here's the problem, is that deck was just going to lose in the Marvel Mirror because Marvel was really powerful for that Pro Tour. What deck ended up topping that Pro Tour? A similar deck to ours. A deck that was all in Marvel, right? What deck dominated by the end of Kaladesh? Closer to that Delirium Ishkana deck. Why is that good? Honestly, because you need some kind of levels, right? It would probably not have been that fun if Black-Green Delirium just dominated all of that Standard. Instead, there were multiple decks, right? You had Black-Red vehicles, Mardu vehicles, Black-Green Delirium, different control. I mean, control literally won the Pro Tour, right? I mean, there were so many different decks that did well at different events in that metagame. And Marvel just kept things a little bit more honest, right? You can't all just play the best mid-range deck in a world full of Marvels. You can't just say, I'm going to tap out every turn and hope that you don't get there in a world where I'm going to either Emrakul you or Ulamog you really early. You have to present some kind of pressure or some kind of resistance. Otherwise, you're just going to lose. And that's actually good for the format. Because what we don't want a format of just mid-range deck on mid-range deck fighting each other. As much as I would love that format as a player that loves playing mid-range mirrors and loves playing mid-range, it's honestly not that fun for the rest of the Magic community. Also, Marvel has a real deck building costs. You have to include certain cards, right? Because it's this energy sub-theme, you have to have an energy package. So if there ever comes a time where that energy package isn't good, the deck isn't good. And that is a real cost to playing the deck, and one that we want to have included if we're going to make this be a part of the metagame. You know, between the inconsistencies and the deck building cost, this is a real thing that people have to consider before they play the deck. And honestly, which would you rather have? A format controlled by Black-Green Delirium, or a format where Black-Green Delirium is kept in check by Marvel, or Mardu is kept in check by Marvel, and then there's this in between, where you have room for these mono-white humans, or this mono-ride deck, or this Jeskai control deck, or whatever this is, to come in and be like, you know what, Marvel, I understand what you're trying to do, but we're going to go either way lower than you or way above you to beat you. That's a good thing. You want that kind of balance in a format. And if Marvel didn't exist, I hate to break it to you guys, but Mardu or Black-Green would just take over. It wouldn't be close. That's my video about why I love Marvel in the format. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to go to patreon.com/ccmtg to become a patron of the show. You can also check out puremtgo.com and mtgotraders.com to buy Magic singles, to be honest. I mean, MTGO Traders is what I use every time I want to buy Magic Online singles. So check them out, and we'll see you guys all next week.